Hey, welcome to the channel. I decided today to do a video about something that I feel is important to me and could probably help you. Last year I started having back and shoulder pain from playing golf. I'm sure some of you have experienced it, and if you haven't, you probably will, especially if you are crazy enough to hit balls as much as I do or play as much as I do. As you can see, this is my gym. I have a gym, I work out and all those things, but most of those movements are straight line movements. And I'm sure there'll be somebody come in and chime in and say, you're wrong, those will all help you. But in all honesty, they didn't. It still doesn't do a lot to help things that are caused by rotational movements. Those injuries themselves are a little easier to prevent if you do ballistic type exercises, in my honest opinion. Before we start, I'm going to say, if you have a heart condition or any type of health condition, including back injuries, shoulder injuries, knees, hips, anything that requires medical attention or surgery, make sure you consult a physician before starting this or any other workout. The first exercise we're going to do is what I consider the bread and butter exercise of a kettlebell workout, and that is the kettlebell swing. For the kettlebell swing, it's a ballistic exercise. You want to have a weight that's heavy enough that you can't just lift it up in the front of you. Like this is a 25-pound bell. You can sit here and do this all day, or at least, it's not effort. And people have a tendency, if they have a bell like that, they'll come up like this and then they lift it with their arms. The kettlebell swing is a ballistic movement. And what that means is, just like in the golf swing, think about your swing. You come back, you're loading up your weight on your back leg, you're creating the X factor between your hips and shoulders. So, your hips are, younger you are, you can probably get more rotation than I can, but you're loading everything up, then you're using ground forces to push forward, your hips fire, everything comes down, and that creates your swing. That's kind of like a ballistic movement. With the kettlebell swing, what generates the movement of the bell is when the bell's back here, you're not going to go into a squat. This is not a squat movement. You're only bending your knees as much as necessary to allow yourself to bend over comfortably, let the bell come back. You're going to stand up, thrust, fire your core, your abs, your hips, your glutes, your lower back, and that pops the kettlebell up into the air. So it's going to come up, come back down, and you're going to do that 10 times. I'll demonstrate. You're going to start about 18 inches away from the kettlebell. You're going to go down into the hike position like you see a center in football. You're going to go down, lean it back. As you stand up, the bell is going to float back between your legs. Don't fight it, let it go. We're going to do 10 reps. Put it back in that position. It's one set. For the kettlebell swing, if you're not going to do anything else, try to do 100 swings a day, be it 10 sets of 10, 5 sets of 20. You can do a full 100 at one time, go for it. But that is the bread and butter of your kettlebell workout for golf, pretty much any kettlebell workout. But that is great for your hips and everything else. All right, for your second exercise, you can do one of two exercises. If you're really adventurous, go ahead and add them both in and do 5 total exercises. I'm going to show you what I consider my core 4. I'll usually cycle between the halo and the clean and press on opposite days. It just comes down to what you want to do. So the first one of this second exercise you're going to do is the halo. You're going to go down, again, bend over safely, pick up the kettlebell by the horns. You're going to keep your arms at 90-degree angles through the entire movement. You're going to bring the bell around your head like this, all the way around in one fluid movement. So you're not going to stop. I've seen people do this where they stop. You want to do one fluid movement around your head. You're not going to duck, get out of the way, anything like that. It's one fluid movement. We'll do 5 reps to each side. That's one set. It's one set. Now, another way to think about that exercise, you remember Madonna's Vogue video where she did this stuff? That is what your arms are doing. They're coming up here. They're going around 90 degrees that way, 90 degrees that way, and down. So that's probably the best visualization for how those arms are going to move around your head. All right, for the kettlebell halo, I usually do 25 pounds. For the clean and press, you can do 20 or 25 pounds. That's what I normally do. Pick a weight that's comfortable for you. You want something that you have to actually swing up and you can comfortably press above your head. I wear these just so I don't bang my arms up because I have a tendency to not thrust up into the horn and just have it smoothly come down. I'd advise you to learn to do it better than I do this movement. So same thing, you're going to grab this with one hand, bend your knees, it's going to come up. Your first move is here and press. You would do 10 to each side. I'm going to do 5 for demonstration. And put it down safely. So for the second exercise, do either one of those. You can do both, but pick one. They both work the shoulders. The halo does work the bis and tris a little bit better because it does stretch the tris behind the head. But do what you want to do and what's comfortable. These next 2 exercises are rotational exercises. I like to do both of them when I do my total workout. When it's not just swing day, I prefer to do both of these because they do hit the rotational movement a little bit differently. But let's show you the first one. This is a forward swing. You're going to take your weight from here, you'll throw it to the side. You'll allow this leg to pivot, just like on your golf swing when you do your follow through. And you're going to use this arm to pull, but the first thing you're going to do is fire with your hips. You'll fire with your hips. This will come up and down. Fire with your hips and down. Similar movement to if you do martial arts where you fire with your hips to get more power. With golf, you fire with your hips. Almost every sport, even baseball, you're firing with your hips to swing that bat. All right, so for this exercise, as always, start almost in the hike position. It will be a little lighter weight, 20, 25 pounds, what you're comfortable with your back and everything else. Bend over, pick it up from this position, just slightly forward, throw it back to get momentum, and swing. All right, you'll do 3 sets of 10. We just did 5, but that is the movement for that exercise. Now, this last exercise, I like it for the rotational aspect, but I also like it for power generation. This you're going to use about a 10-pound weight, 15 if you're comfortable with it. You're going to start here, and you're going to use your lead arm and fire it up. Now, there's another way that I've seen this done, but I don't like to do that because you're basically just swinging this way and allowing the weight to do everything. I do like an exercise that does help generate a little more power in the pull, so I'd recommend doing it this way. All right, so this is how we'll do the last exercise. I'm going to do 5 to each side, but again, like everything else, you will do 10 to each side, and that will be one complete set. You'll do 3 sets. So from here, bend over a little bit, pull it back here where your thigh is, and you're going to pull with the lead arm. And you're going to twist and allow this leg, just as the others, to pivot up like you would in your follow through. So 1. That's the movement. You want to make sure, again, you pivot on that back leg, just like your golf swing, for each one. And you have to do both sides just so you're equalizing out muscles on both sides. Yes, if you're a right-handed player, you're doing this on one side all day long, you don't want to be out of balance. You just don't. Make sure both muscle sets are developed and you're not going to get injured. So let's answer some questions that I know are going to be asked down below. What weights do I need? At the minimum, for a man, you want for your kettlebell swing at minimum 16 kilograms, which is 35 pounds. Kettlebells come in multiple weights. I've got 10 through 25 and 5-pound increments because of the way that I bought them. I've got 16 through 24 kilograms, which comes out to 35, 44, 53 in pounds. If you buy kettlebells and all they have is in kilograms, the minimum you're going to need to be able to do all these exercises and not use a weight that's too heavy, which could injure yourself, you would want a 4 kilogram, which is going to be close to 10 pounds, 8 kilograms, close to 16 pounds, 12 kilograms, which is close to 25, 16 kilograms, which comes out to about 35, and that gets you your start. If you want to have what I consider my bread and butter for the max weight, you could get a 20 kilogram, and that will be your bread and butter swing, your kettlebell hardstyle swing forever. I do keep the 24 kilogram for my days when I'm only swinging, and I use that for my heavy weight. But your bread and butter is going to be the 20, the 16, the 12, and the 8. And if you want to get a 10-pound one just for that one swing, you can. So that would be my recommendation. For the ladies, for your kettlebell swing, the lowest weight that I would go would be 25 to start, and then work yourself up to a 32. Hopefully you'll hit not a 32 kilogram, but you work yourself up to the 35, the 16 kilogram, and hopefully you get to the 20. And if you're swinging that for your kettlebell swings, you've gotten pretty damn strong. But those are the basic kettles that I would recommend getting. If you want to get doubles in the lower weights like I have, that's up to you. But with 4 to 5 kettlebells, you'll have a complete gym, and that'll take care of all of your working out needs. Also, the wrist pieces that I have on, I would recommend getting them. These are made by Bells of Steel. I think they're like $9 on Amazon. They protect your wrists. You don't walk around with big bruises. People going, what the fuck did you do? Are you in the kinky shit? You don't have to deal with that stuff. So that would be the basic weights that I would get. I would get that. And if you have hardwood floors or don't want your floors damaged, your carpets, get a small rubber pad to put down on the floor so that when you finish your exercise, you put it there and it doesn't damage your floors. You can get those squares either at like Home Depot, Lowe's, or if you have a sporting goods store, they'll have them in packages where you can get a 4x4 locking area, which isn't bad to have, and that'll take care of your kettlebells. So you can have a complete gym sitting in the corner ready to go. And if you're interested in more kettlebell exercises, look on the internet and see what you've got. The only thing I'll warn you is kettlebell people are very tribal. You've got your sports kettlebell, you've got your hard style, you've got all these styles, and they all say everybody's wrong. I hate sports style. That's my personal opinion. It causes me more pain when I'm doing it. And I hate American style kettlebell swings. They make my shoulders pop. They're very dangerous when it comes to that. That's why I do hard style kettlebell swings. That answers probably the 2 questions you're going to ask. Anyway, that's it for this video. If you found it helpful, you liked it, be sure to like and subscribe down below. If you have any comments or questions, put them down there. I'm 60 right now, just turned 60 2 days ago, and this is what's keeping me swinging hard and hitting hundreds of balls a day, the fact that I do this on a regular basis. Now, the only other thing that I would add in, I do at least 30 to 45 minutes on the treadmill every day, and every time I play golf, I walk. I firmly believe if you're playing golf, you should probably walk, unless it's a course that has ridiculous distances between tees and it would hold up the course. So if I can walk, I walk every time I play. That's my preference, and it also keeps me in better shape. But that's it. Everybody have an awesome day, and I hope to catch you next time.